are gonna go on a little bookstore tour type situation and get some Christmas books, but first we're gonna read outside while it's like somewhat of a decent weather. Made it to the city. I feel really grateful to even be able to be here. Brady has like a work thing and that's why we're here, but I feel grateful to have a job where I can just like bop around and go wherever he goes. What's funny is all of his work events, he is an insurance agent with State Farm. He has his own office and like multiple employees and stuff, but he's always coming to like learn and do more things to be able to like help more people. And one thing that's cool is that he always has like conferences and like stuff to like learn and whatever. If I had a job where I, had to like be somewhere stationary, I wouldn't be able to go. But a lot of these events don't even have like spouses coming because again, it's like you're in conferences all day and he's like, I just want you with me. And I've just been like hanging out here doing my work and then I'm gonna go into the city. We're gonna go get some Christmas books and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna like eat dinner and stuff together. And what's funny again is that whenever we were in college, we were literally inseparable. And I remember so many people were like, oh, that's just the honeymoon stage. Like once you get older, like you're not gonna wanna be like that anymore. And we've been together like, what, I think 12, 13 years at this point. We've been married for 7 and still the same vibes, like still love being around each other, still have that like, I do not want to be without you, you're my favorite person in the world, honeymoon stage type of vibe. And I genuinely feel like the honeymoon stage can last forever. But I'm getting ready to go down to a bookshop. There's 2 bookstores I want to go to specifically to get some Christmas books. This is the perfect time to get Christmas books because it isn't like super late in the season yet. I feel like I kind of get over Christmas books quick. So I like now is the time for me to start reading them. So yeah, I'm gonna go and hopefully find some good Christmas books because the bookstores here always have a great selection. So this is our view from the hotel. We're staying in the Hilton at Brook Hills and you can see there's people out there playing golf. It's such a beautiful property. This is our second time here. They always have like their little conference at this specific spot. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like you don't really hear people talking about like the Hilton or Marriott as like being these like dreamy places to go stay, but I promise you, like there are tons of hotels that are in great locations that maybe aren't like, $1 million trillion every single night. Like the Hiltons, the Marriotts, the Holiday Inns, like you can find some good places with those hotels. I kind of saw our room whenever I was talking, but this is like the bed situation. I really like this setup that they have, and they have like a couch over here on this little area in front of the window. It's like really, really pretty, and then the bathroom is just as nice too. Out, which is making me so happy. I wanted to show you guys, but it is so busy in here. Like literally I could only find this corner that's like quiet, which is funny because it's middle of the week and I'm always thinking like, what is everyone out here doing like middle of the week? But then I look at myself and I'm literally out doing the same thing as everyone else. This is all the Christmas stuff. Sometimes I forget about like stuff from Barnes whenever I'm looking for Christmas gifts, but I really need to come in here more often because they have a lot of really good gifts. This right here has 12 different hidden things in there. There's like tons of bookish things, like this book stack stocking holder. I'm trying not to break anything. Let me put that back before I break this wine glass, but like look at that. They have so many cute Christmas gifts. So if you're looking for something, definitely come to Barnes because I didn't realize how much Christmas stuff they have in here. But I don't know, if you're just like, you have no idea what to get, I feel like you could easily come to one of these stands and just grab like literally anything. I've heard that these Nod Pod little like weighted blankets for your eyes are really nice. And it's just nice that they have stuff like this here that you can just grab and go, grab a book and then like reading socks. I don't know. I'm definitely gonna come back here when I start like getting Christmas gifts, which honestly I should have gotten like a long time ago because I have so many to buy. I feel like everyone's been talking about Immortal Dark since the second book just got released. I haven't even read the first, so I mean there's that. But I did not realize that this was a young adult book. I feel like if I'm going to enjoy a fantasy, it's probably gonna be from the young adult section. I don't know why I feel that way. I still want to read Blood Moon. I actually brought this with me, so I might like pick this one up while I'm here, like from my hotel, not like literally here at Barnes. But there's so many other like fantasy books, and you guys know I'm not like a big fantasy girl, but if I was to get into it, I feel like I would grab something probably from this section. I just think young adult books are easier to understand than like the worlds that sometimes you get with the like, I don't know, more intricate fantasies. I don't know. Honestly, this whole like genre is like very intimidating to me, but I do love the covers. They're so pretty. I just found one of the coolest things ever. It's this advent calendar, and what's cool about it is every single chapter in this is for a different day. So like every day you open a different chapter all the way up like leading till Christmas. Such a unique idea. I think it's so cute. Let's see if I can show you guys. So you open it up and it says that there's a sealed chapter every day. So this is the first chapter. The second chapter, and so on, and there's 24 chapters, and they're all like leading you up to Christmas Day. That's such a unique idea. Okay, I found two contenders. So this book right here, Wreck My Plans, it looks really cute, and then this book, Date Night in December, looks really cute, but I feel like it's so rare to find books that are even this size, which is why I think I'm gravitating towards it more than anything, because most of the Christmas books are like thick. Like this book right here is thick, this book right here is thick, this book right here is thick. Like I feel like it's so rare to find these like little skinny mini Christmas books anymore. These are the types of Christmas books I want. I don't want too much, you know, just like something like this. Just the super long Christmas books are really not my vibe, and I feel like that's what most authors have been leaning towards lately. Like, how many pages does this have? Yeah, 366, and then this one has 451. Honestly, I think I actually probably will buy this book at some point, but I don't know, I just am not a huge fan of like super long Christmas books. Like this one is like, well, I guess like 325 is not bad, but you get my drift. Seeing this book up here, that's by Etta Easton, is making me realize that I don't think a lot of people know that Etta Easton has a Christmas book coming out. She just released that she has a book coming out. It comes out the 20th. She didn't give us any prep. Like it's literally coming out November 20th. So if you're in like, you know, if you like her books, definitely keep that on your radar, because I had no idea it was coming out until I saw on her Instagram. Books I want to show you guys. I got these from The Last Chapter, and that is a Black-owned romance-only bookstore here in Chicago. Absolutely love their books. Oh, the sun just came out. Love that. I'm going to give you guys a quick haul just because I feel like it would be fun to give a haul of like a few of the things that I got, and then kind of like leave the rest of the stuff to whenever I get home. I ended up getting two books from there, and I am really excited about these books. The first one that I got is Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming by Monique Fisher. This is a romance anthology of 4 different stories, and on the back it says it's about 4 women taking a chance on love and learning to embrace their fates with open arms. They all end up going to New Orleans together, and they have no idea what's in store for them. I'm really excited because I feel like whenever I read stories of multiple women and just stories of friendship, I always feel so inspired, and I also feel, I don't know, very validated, because like everyone has a different life experience, and whenever I'm reading that in a book, it's like, okay, this person had this happen, and then this person had this happen, and it's totally fine. They both love their life, even though it was very different. It just makes me feel really good. So really excited. This tells the story of Lyric, Amy, Suchi, and Bridget. And again, they all have different stories. So one of them's like a childhood sweetheart story. Another one, she's like rich and famous. Like they just all have different vibes. Excited for that. And then that is written by a Black author. I also picked up This Life and All the Rest by Britt Bennett. I don't really know too much about this book, but I did see that it was autographed by Britt Bennett. And I've read one book by this author that I really loved. Her writing reminds me of like Brittany Cherry's writing. It's kind of like angsty, kind of feels like a soap opera. And whenever I'm in the mood for that, I need to have a book like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a ton of books like that on my shelf that I know of, but when I'm in the mood, I want a book like that. So obviously you guys can see that I'm getting completely blown out by the sun, but we're getting ready to go to our last bookstore of the trip, and then I'll head home. I have a huge book haul from Barnes that I want to show you guys. But we're gonna go to our last bookstore. I'm gonna go to Barnes again because I wasn't able to find the book that I wanted while I was in like the city Chicago area. We're in Oak Brook, so the only bookstore that they have here with new books is Barnes. So that's where we're gonna go. And I'll give you guys like the really big book haul whenever I get home. I was sitting here just thinking about how, I don't know, it just feels really good to be able to talk to you guys. I started filming like videos whenever I was a lot younger than I am now. I started filming in 2018, and I've grown and changed so much, and I always try to share like how I'm growing and how I'm changing, and so many of you guys have like really resonated with me sharing and being vulnerable, which again is not always easy to do because it's like I'm literally just telling all my feels, you know, to the world, but I never want people to feel like they're the only one experiencing something. And I also really struggled whenever I was in high school, and I wish that I had someone who could be like, hey, it's gonna be okay, like it's gonna be fine, you're normal for experiencing this or for feeling this. I just don't want people to feel alone. So I hope that videos that I share always make you feel obviously just like, you know, excited to read, but a little less alone too. To see another sports romance book ever in my life. I don't think, like, there are so many, or not sports romance, cowboy romance. I feel like authors just saw what worked and then just went with it, because look at this whole side right here. So obviously there's this series right here, which I started, and there's this series right here, then there's this series, and that book goes with that, and then there's this series, and then there's this series, and there's this series, this series, this series, this series. Like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes authors just will, and that's not even like the only cowboy romance, but like I feel like sometimes authors will just see what works and they just stick with it. Like that's only the cowboy romances that are in the cowboy romance stand, not the other books that are like around on the shelves. But I am trying to look for some Christmas books. I saw they have a Christmas table and they had some books on there. I really did like seeing it. Let me see if I can see it over here. They had the Christmas books right here, and I liked seeing Christmas in Spite of You over here because I read this last year, and they had it at, I think, Target, but I don't know if they were like selling it in Barnes last year. They had other books on here, but none of these were really like pulling my attention, so I'm gonna see if I can find some just like on the shelves. Like there's a new release that I really want to read. I'm gonna see if it's over here. As I'm in here, I'm realizing like I don't really want to talk to you camera like I want to talk to you guys in person, because when I talk to you a camera, I'm asking a question that you guys won't be able to answer for a while, and it doesn't help me any, because like whenever I ask you, you guys will tell me your thoughts, but it's like after I'm like out of the situation. Maybe I need to start using like Instagram stories more often. Okay, also this is like super random, but I asked a girl in Barnes one time like one of her favorite books, and she said this was it, and it at the time wasn't even in Barnes, it wasn't popular, and now it's like has a new cover on it, and it has a whole series with it. So now I want to read it, but I do have this on my shelf at home, so I need to just pick it up. Okay, I don't know what this is about, but this is a cute cover, and it looks like it's a different type of story. Like maybe they play like video games or something, because it has like the like computer sign on there. I don't know, I like books that feel like it's gonna be a different type of story than like what I've read over and over and over again. And again, I do like books that have similar tropes, but I feel like, I don't know, authors are just like doing the same thing over and over and over. I bought this book a while back, not actually that long ago, but I bought it, planned on reading it. I wanted to read it actually in like my last video, didn't get to it. And then I saw that Natalie read it, and she said it's one of the spiciest books she's ever read. And now I'm just like, do I want to read it? Because you guys know I love spice, but like the story has to like be a really big part of the book. Like I want there to be a really good plot. So now I'm like on the fence as to whether I want to read it or not. But there is a book I do want to read before fall's over, and it's this one right here. I've heard really great things about this one, and I've heard that it's like deep and heartfelt. And at first I thought it was like a cutesy read, that one of you guys was like, yeah, actually that book is super like heartfelt and deep, so that's good to know for whenever I go into it. Every time I go to a different Barnes, I realize how like good these other Barnes and Nobles are in comparison to mine, because I feel like they have so many more books, and it just makes me realize like there are tons of books I haven't read yet. Like sometimes I'll go into my Barnes and I'll be like, oh, I've read everything, like there's just not that much for me to read left, like unless it's like, you know, indie, which is of course I love to support, another cowboy romance. But whenever I come to these, you know, bookstores that are like out of town, I realize there are tons of books that I haven't picked up and I know nothing about, which I freaking love. All of these covers are really just pulling me to them. Just read that, very cute. I'm gonna see if I can find the book that I was looking for. Oh, I also read that. And oh, here's a Christmas book. Yeah, I feel like the ones on the shelves are gonna be the ones that pull me in versus the ones that are just like on the table. Okay, this looks cute. It's called Say It Out Loud, and it says, in this heartfelt magical rom-com, a down and out podcaster gets a second chance at her career and love when she's cast in the audio drama adaptation of her favorite paranormal romance series alongside the one who got away. So she ends up working with like someone that she knew in the past. Also, like I was literally just saying that I feel like I don't see enough books that have different types of tropes. This is what I want to see. Okay, I was down here to grab a book that I have been looking for, and I found this book, and it looks so cute. Again, another book that I have never seen ever before. I kind of want to just grab a book that has like a cover that pulls me in and read it, because I don't do that nearly enough. I'm gonna put that one back, but there's so many books here that I feel like I've never even seen. I know that these are not all new releases, so I'm just gonna grab one, I think, and hope for the best. I kind of love that for me, because I can't really do that at my Barnes at home, because I feel like most of the books that they have there are all books that are already like popular. Okay, another Christmas book that I just found. This looks so cute. I just love a Christmas cover that's like pink. I feel like you see so many that are like blue. I don't know, the cover just really pulled me in with this one. I may have hit the Christmas jackpot here. Never seen these before. These look so cute. Honestly, I was planning on buying lots of Christmas books, but I've noticed that there aren't a ton out. Like at most places, this actually has the most Christmas books that I've seen anywhere on this whole trip. A lot of the other places didn't even have any out. I am just so happy I have books as a hobby. Like, I don't know what people do when they just like don't have anything to take their mind off of like what's going on in their life. I genuinely feel like that would be so stressful. Like anytime I have like a stressful day or am just like feeling overwhelmed, I can pull this out and I'll immediately feel better. I actually almost didn't pick up the camera tonight because I was just feeling super bummed. I went and got my appointment for, I had like a ultrasound to see the like size and like placing of my fibroid and stuff, and it just like was not the best news. So I almost didn't want to pick up the camera because I was just like, I'm just like not feeling good, like I'm not feeling happy. And then I had to remind myself that like I always want to share like my life authentically and not just like when life is good, but just like overall, like all the time. Granted, I am feeling much better, just because reading, I feel like always takes me out of like the real world and puts me into a fake world. This book I'm really enjoying, and I feel like I'm starting to learn the type of fantasy books that I like, because I don't know, I feel like young adult books are the books that I need to start with. Like if I were to read a fantasy book that had like, you know, all these intricate things in it, I feel like I'd get really confused and I just wouldn't enjoy it. I think I need to stick with young adult books because this is good. I will say when I first started it, I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, because it kind of starts out where there's not a lot of dialogue, and you guys know that I like love reading dialogue. I feel like I really connect to the characters that way. And it was a lot of her like inner monologue, but then once you get into the story more, you see more dialogue. I saw the like first meeting of like the two, I think, main characters, and it kind of gave Twilight vibes, like the same feeling that I got when like Edward was like staring at Bella and like, you know, was kind of enamored by her and could like know her thoughts and stuff. Like I was getting that same feeling from this book. And it's interesting because it's only told, I think, in one point of view. And so it'll be interesting to read it because I read a lot of books with dual POV, but in Twilight, which was like one of my favorite, all-time favorite series as a kid, it was only Bella's point of view until I think like the last book, and she made a book with like Edward's point of view. But I like had posters all over my wall. I had the t-shirts. I like went to the midnight premieres, like all the things. I was so obsessed with the series, and I don't know, it'd be really cool if she came out with her own like lore and like her own series, because you don't see a lot of books by Black authors that are sharing like a vampire like werewolf story. I do hope that this book kind of stands on its own. Like I don't want to read like a knockoff Twilight, you know, like I don't think that it is so far, but I'm not super far into it. I'm only like 62 pages, so there are definitely similarities, but it feels like its own, but also you could easily like make it feel the exact same if, you know, you're like having similar meet cute things, you know, if you're having like similar scenes. Like there's very unique scenes in Twilight that I feel like are very much Twilight, and I don't know, I just hope that this story has its own unique like plot line, but it'll be interesting to see as I get into it more. I did end up finishing James, and I cannot even begin to tell you guys all the feelings I have behind that book. I think that book, like I need a new rating system. Like I say this all the time because when I rate a 4-star like cutesy romance, that's different than like a 4-star heartfelt romance, and that's also different than a 4-star thriller. You know what I mean? You catch my drift? Like it's different than a 4-star historical fiction. Like they're just different. Like, cause I think my expectations are different. Like, what is that? Oh, that's a sink. Oh my God, that scared the crap out of me. It's like, what is that noise? But yeah, they're just different. And so I just feel like it's hard to rate certain books because like James feels like it should be written on like a scholarly level. Like if there was a type of book rating, like genre of its own, it would be like books that you read for school or books that you read in college, you know, like it's not really a fun book, I don't feel like, and it, because it is a retelling of Huckleberry Finn, from Jim's point of view, James, I don't know, it just feels very much like scholarly. If someone's like, oh my God, should I read this book? Like, I'm not going to be like, yeah, read it for fun, you know, like it, and it is fun. It's hard to, are you guys understanding what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's just its own, it should be in its own category, and that category should be like books that are classics, books that will be talked about till the end of time, like books that'll be passed down. Like, it was incredible, but it's like, and it's also hard because I'm not just someone who just is like reading books. I feel like people look at my Goodreads. I actually almost have like like I think you can only have 5,000 friends on Goodreads, and I'm almost at 5,000 friends. So after that, anybody else who comes to like follow, you can like look at my stuff, but like I can't add you as a friend. So you're just gonna have to like, I don't know, look at it, I guess. But like when people look at your reviews, like if someone sees something's rated 5 stars or 4 stars, you have this idea of what it's going to be in your head, I feel, because you know my taste. But I don't know, I shared on Instagram that I'm like loving it so far, and so many people are like, oh my God, this book was incredible. It was like 5-star read for me, one of the best of the year. And then other people were like, yeah, it wasn't for me. I didn't really like it. And I can see both sides, because for me, I understand why people wouldn't necessarily like it if you're reading it because like maybe the writing style isn't for you. It's kind of written like old-timey, and it's written like a classic. Like it's written like a classic piece of literature, but I think going into it, I know that. Like I know that it's going to have different writing. It's a different writing style because I see what the author's trying to do. But then I also see why people rate it a 5-star, because it's like, it's breathing life into this story that we've heard so many times, but just turning it on its head and giving you a totally new perspective, which I think is such a cool thing, because it's very rare you can do that and do that well. And I would love to see more retellings from different points of view from that time period, especially because there were so many books that had slaves in the books, and they were just kind of like these like, ho hum, I'm a little like, you know, side character. And it's like, no, these are stories that are just as important as, you know, the main characters of these books, and if not more so, because they have like a unique perspective on how they view the world that like isn't told. So I don't know, it's just, it's I see both sides. I'm gonna have a hard time rating this one, I think, but yeah, anyway, I will tell you guys at the end of this video. I do have a bunch of hauls coming your guys' way because I got a bunch of books and I haven't shared those with you guys yet. So I'll probably share that sometime tomorrow, I think. I have about 100 pages left in this so far. Hopefully you guys can hear me because it's so windy. This is the time of year where I love filming outside, but it's really hard to film outside because it's so windy. I kind of feel like I love this book, or want to love this book more than I actually do. I feel like a lot of this story, it just feels like I'm being told the story versus I'm actually like existing in the story. The tension between the two main characters in this book, absolutely love. Everything that I need. Everything that I need. The writing style, when they're communicating with each other, the dialogue, like, love it. But the other parts where, I don't know, I feel like the story is being told and I'm almost just like a bystander, like listening to someone tell me a story. I don't really love that part, but I maybe the story is setting up for book 2. I could see how that could be the case because there is a lot of like setup, and maybe that's just like a fantasy thing, you know. I don't read a lot of fantasy, but something super random that I was thinking about while I was sitting here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Again, it's very, very windy, but something I was thinking about while I was sitting here is the Love is Blind like reunion. Super random, I know. If you haven't watched the whole like Love is Blind, you know, new season, then you can just like keep it moving. But the new season is so interesting because there's a guy on the season. Hopefully you can hear me. It's so windy. There's a guy on the season. His name is Joe. And they said, now this is a spoiler, if you have not watched Love is Blind, just like skip like a minute. I'm not going to talk that long. There's a guy named Joe, him and Madison were matched together, and they end up breaking up, and they show that at the reunion. And he talked about how whenever they broke up, they ended up like going to a party together after, or not going to a party together, they ended up meeting up at a party, and they ended up like making out. And I've seen like so many people on the internet, and granted, this is the first like reality TV show I've watched in years. Like, I started at Natalie's house, and then once I started it, I just like got hooked, which I don't really watch TV, like books are like my TV, but we watched so many episodes while I was at her house on like the last day. We just like kind of had like a rot day. It was so nice, because I didn't realize I haven't had a day like that with friends in a long time. But just whenever he made out with her, he kind of like shared how he's like, oh, I shouldn't have did that. That was probably dumb on my part. Like, we had already said that we were over, and then we made out, and then, you know, she kind of kept being like, oh, maybe it's the cameras, like maybe that's why it's like not working. And he's just like, no, like it's not the cameras, like we just aren't meant to be together. And I feel like I've seen so many people be like, yes, like I'm so glad he's being honest. I'm so glad that he's like, you know, sharing his truth. Like, you can just not want to be with someone, and that's totally fine. And I want to be like, stop giving men this much credit. Like, stop giving men this much credit, because this man was engaged to a girl, dumped her, and then after he dumped her, saw her at a party, ooh, she's hot, ooh, gotta have her, makes out with her. Afterwards, she's like rethinking, like maybe this could actually work, like maybe we could try again. He's like, no, like, you know, you're just like, you keep saying this. It's like almost making it like she's crazy and like clingy and like wants to be with him so bad. And it's like, dude, you're literally making her believe that you're gonna be together. I don't know. I feel like I see that a lot in whenever I'm like watching reality TV shows. Like, we give some people too much grace, and I feel like it's always the charismatic one, it's always the outgoing one, or the like somewhat decent looking one, and always the guy. Like, we just give them too much grace. And I mean, imagine the girl does the same thing, you know? Wouldn't be as well received. But anyway, super random. I'm gonna sit here, read a little bit more, and try to finish the last 100 pages of this book. Book haul and a book wrap up for you guys. There are books in both of these bags, and then I also have this box here that just came in, but I want to give you guys just a quick update as to what I read this week, because I did end up finishing 2 books. I read James, and this book is a book that I truly think that it will stand the test of time. It's going to be a classic. It's going to be one of those books that people talk about for so long, and I think that being an English literature major really made me appreciate this book more, because if you go into this book just thinking it's gonna be a book, you're not gonna get the full like breadth of everything that you could get from this story. I think the reason why I resonated so much with this was because it's retelling Huckleberry Finn, like a very well-known story that we all have heard and read throughout school, and it's just, it's a classic, and it's really turning it on its head. And I wish that this book could have been read in school when I was in college or whenever I was in high school. Like, I don't know, I really think that I would have enjoyed it after reading Huckleberry Finn. Like, I think that this, if you haven't read Huckleberry Finn, or you don't know the story, or if it isn't something that you feel is memorable, like it might not hit the same. But because that story is so iconic, I think that is why this book is even more incredible, because it's really turning that other story on its head and just giving you a whole new perspective. I don't know what I'm going to rate this. It feels like it's wrong to rate it less than 4 stars. So I definitely am not going to do that, but I don't think this is a 5-star read for me. I feel like I would know if it is. But then it's like, I've read so many books where I've rated like 4.5 stars, 4 stars, you know, whatever. And it's like, they don't come close to what this story means. Like, I think the writing style was one that I did have to take a bit to get over, because again, it's like, it's kind of written like a classic. Like, it's written like a book that we're going to continue to read throughout history. Like, our kids will read, and kids' kids, and so forth. So I did get a bit hung up on that because I don't read classics often, but the story and what is in the pages of this book, truly just so powerful if you've read the story of Huckleberry Finn or if you're familiar with it. I think I'm gonna land at 4 stars, but I might bump it to 4.5. I think the only thing that's making me want to leave it at 4 stars is because of the writing style. Because I personally wasn't like obsessed with it, but I just am not someone who loves like a classic. That's not what I typically pick up. But because I know how important this story is and like the intricacies of being able to turn it on its head and do it well, I know that that takes so much talent and it's such a challenge. That's what's really wanting me to make the story be even more highly rated. I don't know, I'm gonna sit on this one for a little bit and see what I think after, you know, I've kind of sat with it for a little bit. But again, an incredible story. I don't think that everyone should read this. I don't think this is going to be a book everyone will love. I think you have to have the history of like having read classics or have read Huckleberry Finn, or you understand how like unique it is to be able to do a retelling like this. Like, I don't know, I think the context really helped me love this story so much more. And then I ended up reading Blood Moon. This is a book that was very highly anticipated for me, and it was one that I really was expecting to just absolutely love. I enjoyed it, but I do feel like this story would have been one I could connect with more if I saw more dialogue in it and if there wasn't as much like telling the story versus like feeling like you're in the story. Like, I feel like there were points where she would talk about her mom and talk about, you know, the things that her mom did, and it's like, why didn't you show me? Like, I wish we could have had more of like a past and present timeline where we're going back in time and seeing them experience the things versus her telling us. But I do think that this is such a unique story because you do not get to read books by Black authors in this genre. That's just like such a unique like story to tell. So again, it's another story that it's powerful because of what it is. And I think I'm gonna rate this 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think maybe 3 stars. I don't know. I need to think about it a little bit more because again, I love the tension and I loved like the romance part of it, but I don't know. I just feel like it was missing something. And then I got this box. Before we open the rest, I want to open this box. And this box right here has Christmas books in it for the most part. And I got the book Guess Who's Coming for Christmas. Yes, it's a play on words. It's a very spicy read. It says, will these two newly single, sexy professionals fall in love and amid the holiday magic, or will their little secret getaway end with terms, conditions, and an NDA? And I don't really know too much what it's about, but I know there's like a wealthy businessman and I think a college student. So the college student was just dumped. I don't know how they're connecting, but it's supposed to be spicy, obviously, because of the title. So excited to read this. I love a spicy holiday read. And sometimes when I'm going into a spicy read, I just have to like know what I'm getting into. And this is probably going to be one of those that's just like, you know, you're just here for a good time. And I'm totally excited for that. And then I want to read Mistletoe Blues. I read 1201 by Bella J and really loved it. And this is a Christmas read by this author. Don't really know what this one's about, but it says you'll find out if you're on the naughty or nice list. So that's all I need to know. It's a short read, very quick. I was just really trying to find more Christmas reads that I could really enjoy during this holiday season that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about. I also picked up One Carefree Day by Whitney Amazine. This is the author who wrote A Summer of Dandelions and The Wrong Way to Fall or Wrong Way of Falling or something like that. And I wanted to read more books by this author. This is a like alternative copy and cover to the like actual book cover that I think was actually changed. So this is like the 3rd cover, I think. But I really like this one, so I wanted to get it. Don't really know what this one's about. I think that this one is a young adult book, if I remember. Like the character is like 18. And that's why I wanted to just pick it up because I think she has 2 young adult books, but the other young adult book is like they're in high school. Like they're like in the middle of it. I think this is like right after high school, if I remember correctly. And then I got Promise to the Snowman by Cami. I have read Safer for Me by Cami and enjoyed it. And so I wanted to pick up a Christmas book, and this says, will Wynn be able to melt the ice around her husband's heart? Join these two on their journey to find the true meaning of the season. I don't know too much what this one's about, but I feel like this is gonna be a good Christmassy read. And then I have these 2 bags from Barnes that I ended up picking up, and I'm really excited to open these. I opened the smaller one because it's the one I specifically went to a second Barnes to get because they didn't have it at the first Barnes. And this is another Christmas read that I picked up. It's called Grace and Henry's Holiday Movie. This book looks so cute. It says a sentimental advertising creative and a blunt, no-nonsense bar owner find a second chance at love while binge watching iconic holiday movies in this poignant and heartwarming romance from the author of Charm City Rocks and All Together Now. Don't know too much else about it, but it looks like it's really good. Both characters have lost their spouses, so I think that's why they connect. It says it on the back of the book. So this one will be a really great holiday read. And then I got a bunch of books that have nothing to do with the holiday. Truly nothing to do with the holiday. There were just so many new releases. And remember when I was in Barnes and I was like, oh my God, why are there so many people here? I went on Tuesday. That's why I went on new release Tuesday. So I picked up The Huntsman. This is by Naima Simone, and this author wrote Church Girls. Read that book, really loved it. And this is a mafia romance. It's like a dark romance by a Black author. That's all I need to know. Again, I loved Church Girls, so I feel like I'll love this one. It says, 9 years ago, my aunt took everything from me, my world, my throne, my mother. I've bided my time since then, serving in this like specific crime family, but she's crossed another line. She put a price on my head, sending the legendary assassin, the Huntsman Malachi Bowden, after me. The Huntsman's never failed a contract before, but I know everything there is to know about him. It's finally time for me to take my revenge and finish the war my aunt started. The Huntsman might be my death, but Malachi Bowden, he's my weakness. Welcome to the Hunted Kingdom. I cannot wait for this. So excited. I've enjoyed mafia romances in the past. I've never read like a mafia romance that's giving like this dark of a vibe, but I'm here for it. And I feel like the best way to jump into a genre you don't normally read is to read a book by an author that you already love. So I'm excited. I also picked up Cursed Daughters. I've heard great things about this. This is a story that has an interesting like storyline behind it. It says that the main character gives birth to her daughter. On the day they bury her cousin, and there's no denying that there's a resemblance between the two. And then everyone thinks that the child that was birthed is a reincarnation of the family member that has passed away. And so that's like the whole premise of the story, I'm pretty sure. I've heard this is just such an incredible story. It says it's a brilliant cocktail of vibrant humor and hard-won wisdom, romantic love, and familial obligation. Cursed Daughters asks us what it means to be granted a second chance and how to live both wisely and well with what we've been given. So yeah, I've seen a lot of people who've gotten this arc and really loved it, so I wanted to pick it up. I also picked up This Here Is Love by Princess Joy L. Perry. This is another contemporary fiction, or historical fiction actually, if I remember correctly. And it tells a story of 3 different characters, and I'm pretty sure all 3 are from different parts of the world, maybe? I don't know. It says, as the 17th century burns to a close in Virginia, As the 17th century burns to a close in Tidewater, Virginia, America's character is wrought in the fires of wealth, race, and freedom. This is a story of David, young Bless, and Jack Dane. Jack Dane is a Scots-Irish boy who's sailing to the Britain colonies, and David is a helping child and a solace to his parents, and he gave a purpose to their trials, and his freed Black father is the dream of emancipation for the entire family. And then young Bless is the only child left to her enslaved mother. And yeah, this just tells their 3 different stories. It said all 3 come together on Jack's land and they face different challenges. I just thought this would be interesting. I really was just looking up books that I feel like I haven't seen a lot of people talk about and that are in the contemporary fiction or historical fiction like realm, because I've been really itching to read more of that, and I don't have a ton on my shelf, believe it or not. And I also picked up The Tiny Things Are Heavier. Like I said, I've read like 4 contemporary fiction books, or 5 maybe, like back to back to back, and that's just really been what I've been gravitating towards. I could in an instant change and want to read something else, and I'm totally fine with that, but I think that's one of the things that I love about having books on my bookshelf that I've already purchased. Like, I know I will get to them eventually. And it's kind of like when you have a nice bottle of wine and you don't have to go out and buy that bottle of wine when there's something to celebrate. You can just pop it and drink it when you're ready. And that's how I feel about books. So this book right here, it says it's a daring and ambitious novel and tender prose. It's a captivating portrait that explores the hardships of migration and how far we'll go to protect those we love. And it's about a Nigerian woman who comes to the United States for graduate school 2 weeks after her brother attempts suicide. And I've talked, about things that have happened in my life and in my family's life, and I feel like there aren't a lot of stories that depict some of the things that I feel like I've navigated through. And I feel like this book will be able to shine light on my emotions in a way. I actually shared on my podcast how healing it's been to read books about grief and like seeing people navigate grief, because I don't know, there's just like no one fits all way to navigate it. And I think reading those stories has made me feel validated in feeling like I don't know how to navigate it and how to figure it out. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like reading this book is also going to be another way for me to feel very like validated in my feelings and emotions and all the things. So those are all the books I picked up. I picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 9. I kind of just dropped some on the floor. 10. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely have a big book haul coming soon. Lots of Christmas books to come. So make sure that you guys are subscribed, because I will be sharing that video in the next upload or the one after. And there's lots of good books in that stack that I know you will not see anywhere on the internet. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.